Shalom, 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 my brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Welcome to another Savory Sunday where we do what? Break down the Most High's commandments with an intention of teaching our brothers and sisters how to apply the commandments, teaching what the commandments are and what they should do and the consequences of not keeping the commandments. You know, Savory Sundays are put together for one specific reason, and that's to teach our brothers and sisters. Excuse me, but nonetheless, I'm your brother Ananias for A.O.I, the Awakening of Israel. And I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai for the abundance of all things, most importantly, for allowing us all to be here today to be uplifted and edified in the spirit. Appreciate you brothers and sisters tuning in, and those who will tune in. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. But nonetheless, these classes are geared toward doing what? Teaching our brothers and sisters about the commandments. So we want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Appreciate you tuning in. All right. Today's class or topic is called Stop Thieving or Stop Thief. And we're going to dive right into it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of our people know about stealing, thieving, and whatnot. You know, we've heard that throughout our lives. Some of us have committed these crimes or these acts. A lot of us know people who do these things. These are the things that are supposed to be taught to us on a day-to-day basis. So we're going to dive into it today, you know, with hopes and regard of teaching our brothers and sisters about keeping the commandments of the Most High God, aimed and dedicated to the children of Israel. Because as simple as it sounds, it's still something that must be taught and spoke about in our nation of people today. But nonetheless, like I said, today's class called Stop Thieving or Stop Thief. And we're going to jump into the book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 17. And it reads, "Consider that I have not labored for myself only, but for all them that seek learning." So when you tune into each class that you see with our brothers and sisters and the other nation, the other camps, understand that we don't labor for ourselves only. Even though we labor and study and read for understanding, we do it for our brothers and sisters as well, for all them that seek learning. For what reason, though? Let's go to the book of 1 Peter, chapter 1, verse 22. And it reads, "Seeing ye have purified your souls in obeying the truth through the Spirit unto unfeigned love of the brethren." So we do these things because we love our people, our brothers and sisters. "See that ye love one another with a pure heart fervently, being born again, not of corruptible seed, but of incorruptible, by the word of Yahweh, which liveth and abideth forever." So we do the things that we do because we love our brothers and sisters. And we do it because we love the Most High. All right. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 1, right quick. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 1, verse 1. And it reads, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and his law doeth he meditate." You see that? Meditate day and night. That's where our mind should be at all times, meditating on the law of the Lord. Being repentant Israelites in these last days, that's why our mind need to be focused on the Most High at all times. Meditating on his word, on his laws, day in and day out. You see that? So we understand in these first couple of verses that we don't labor for ourselves, brothers and sisters. We don't labor just to debate. We labor to uplift ourselves and our nation. Why? Because we love our brothers and sisters, and because we delight in what? The laws of the Lord, the commandments. So these classes are put together with one reason, one intent, to teach our brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel about the commandments of God and how to keep them and the consequences of not keeping them. All right. So from there, let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 15. Classic precept, but we're going to try to do classes to teach on the commandments of God. Got to start with the basics, because a lot of people say it's only 10 commandments, but they don't even keep the 10 that they talking about. So we want to go over the 10 and we want to go over the other laws, because it's more than 10 when you read in the Bible. All right. So we're going to go to the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 15. And it reads, "Thou shalt not steal." 4 letters, 1 verse. Simple. But a lot of us have done these things in our lives. They promote it to us on TV, in the music. The people that we look up to are the biggest thieves. And I'm talking about the people who are in rulership, the people who run the world, the wicked. Understand that. But the Lord said, "Thou shalt not steal." This is a commandment given to his people, the nation of Israel. All right. So my question to you is, why is it so easy today for our people to steal? Why is that a mindset that our people are quick to gravitate toward? Why is that? Why is there no shame behind it? Why is that something simple for our people to do? Why is that something that we quick to run and do? Steal. Could it be that the world is influenced by the same people that are ruling it? Let's go to the book of Job right quick. The book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. And this is something we bring out quite a bit, but it got to be constantly brought out, even for those who don't know and for those who do know, as a constant reminder that what? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And because of that, that's why it's so easy for our people to follow wickedness. Think about that. You got the main man or the main nation of people who rule this earth, so-called, or not so-called, the nation of Edom, the Romans, the Greeks, the Europeans. They are the ones who actually rule this world right now because of our disobedience as a nation. But the Lord gave the earth over into their hands, Satan, because of our wickedness. So if the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, the ones who are in control, guess what? Their influence will be wicked. They will teach to steal and teach it to be something to be glorified or magnified in the earth. That's why it's so easy for our people to follow behind these things. Let me go to the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12, right quick. Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. All right. And it reads, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Spiritual wickedness in high places. The same ones who are in rulership, the same ones you line up rain, sleet, or snow to vote for, the same one you get your education for, the same one who put you in slavery, the same one that snatched and stole your identity, stole your land, are the same ones we battling against. But we ain't doing it in a physical standpoint. We doing it in a spiritual standpoint. We battling against spiritual wickedness in high places. They say the one who has the golden egg or the golden hen or ticket write the rules. We are not in possession of the gold. We are not in possession of the wealth of this world. Therefore, we don't write the rules right now. So the ones who are actually in control, who have their face printed on the money, those are the ones who rule the world. That the wicked that the earth is given into, whose hand the earth is given into, excuse me. So we understand that the influence of this world is by those in high places. Those would be the families who actually run this world. You know, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, you know, BlackRock. What's the other one? The Vanguards. You know, hey, spiritual wickedness in high places. That's what we battling against, the wicked influence of this world. Let me go to Proverbs 28:4. So we asking, why is it so easy for our people to follow behind these things? Because the earth is given into their hand, the hand of the wicked. But the Lord told us, thou shalt not steal. But our people find it easy as hell to steal. They don't have no regret in doing it. They'll steal a man's life, steal his wife, steal his family, you know, do all type of wickedness. Our people find it easy to do these things. This is why we must do these classes, to wake them up, to give them more understanding, and to make them question the things that they do. All right. The book of Proverbs, chapter 28, verse 4, it says, they that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them. You see that? They that forsake the law, meaning that avoid, that don't keep the law, praise the wicked. And when we were in the world, even myself, when I was in the world, I used to praise them. Same individuals that make them wicked ass songs that tell our people to kill each other, or go sleep with that man's wife, or tell her to sleep with this person, with that person, or smoke this or sell that. I listened to it. I used to bob my head to that. I used to dance to that wickedness. So at one point in time, when I didn't know who I was or what I was supposed to be doing, I forsake the law. I praised the wicked. I idolized those people, not knowing who I was and what I was supposed to be doing. But such as keep the law, contend with them. But now I'm against all that wickedness. Now I won't even play that in my radio. You know what I'm saying? I'm against that. You see that? The rebellious praise the wicked. So that's why it's that more easier for our people to follow the influence of this world, to thinking that stealing, killing, and robbing and all that is something inspired to be like. To be shot, to shoot others, that's something to try to inspire to be like. That's what we see in this world. You know, to be whores and whoremongers, that's what our people aspire to be like. Anything righteous, they don't want nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to read verse 5. Evil men understand not judgment. You see that? Evil men understand not judgment, but they that seek the Lord understand all things. You see that? It's very simple when you read it. An evil man ain't going to understand judgment. He ain't going to understand where he's going wrong. You know what I'm saying? When they don't know who they are, what they're supposed to be doing. But when they don't understand, they'll praise the wicked. That's what the Lord just told you. But they that seek the Lord, they understand everything. They understand all things. That's why the Lord tell you, don't be ignorant of a small thing or a great thing. Because when you seeking the Lord, you reading his word, you studying, you building up your knowledge, your wisdom, discernment, you start to have an understanding in all things. Therefore, you'll be able to contend with those who are wicked, trying to rebuke them, trying to correct them. You see? But these are some of the things that our people are see on a day-to-day basis and become mesmerized with or influenced with. These movies, you know, you got a movie like American Heist that they make popular, glamorized. Takers, they get some of our people, some of our famous actors and singers and put them in these movies. Yeah, the movie might be good, but what are they promoting? You got your Ocean's 11, famous movies, made millions of dollars, seen, shown all around the world. You got Robin Hood, you see? You got Scarface. Everybody wanted to be like Scarface at one point in time. They wanted to run around in different cities, knocking each other off, selling dope and killing each other just to make some money. Stealing from each other. You got what? Video games, mafia. You know what I'm saying? This is what they saying. Bear with me, Israel. Wow. Apologize for that, Israel. Didn't know that they were blocking the screen like that. But let me get back to it. It's always something with Esau. But nonetheless, we're talking about thieving, stop stealing, you know what I'm saying? And being influenced by the ways of this world. Like I was saying beforehand, they give you video games like Mafia, Scarface, Robin Hood. They make these things popular. They show them to the kids, they show them to the world. Our people see these things and they are mesmerized by it. They have deep thoughts about, if it comes to tough times, I'm going to do this. They'll sit there and plan out a heist. Been planning it and thinking about it for years. Why? Because it's promoted to them. Thieving, stealing, burglary. You know, all of these are different movies and scenes from different thieves that are promoted to us. What is a thief? One that steals, especially stealthily or secretly. Now, the biggest thief on the planet, our people don't even realize that he's a thief or that his nation of people is a thief. The Bible actually speaks of it. Let me go to John 10:10 right quick. The same ones that had our nation of people in captivity, the same one that had us on the bottom of them slave ships, is the same one that the Bible described. John 10:10. It reads, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. You see that? That's the whole purpose of the thief. Your enemy, our enemy. The thief, Satan, Esau, and these other nations. The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. They stole our land. They stole our identity. They stole our mindsets, our love toward one another. They kill us on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. Throw the rock and hide their hand. They destroy us mentally, physically, spiritually. That's what the thief come to do. Yahushua said, I am come that they might have life, that they might have it more abundantly. So he came to show us the way, how to maneuver through the snakes, through the darkness, through the high grass. Showed us how to maneuver, how to live through an example, and how to do it more abundantly, how to live life, you know? From there, let's go to Psalms 106 right quick. Psalms 106. Short class, I'm going to try to move through it kind of quick. It shouldn't take that long to explain this, but you know what I'm saying? It's something we got to talk about nonetheless. So let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 106. We're going to go to verse 34. And it reads, they did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them, but were mingled among the heathen and learned their works. So in the beginning, when we were trying to establish our land, we did not kill off or knock off all of the heathen that were among us. So we dwelt among them, or they dwelt among us. And because of that, we were mingled among the heathen and learned their works. We started thinking like them. We started taking on their customs, their tradition, their way of thinking. You see that? And they served their idols, which were a snare unto them. So we started not only thinking like them, acting like them, following their ways and their customs and tradition. We started serving their idols, and it became a snare unto us. You see that? Because we were mingled among the other nations. That's part of the influence that enables us today to go out and steal with ease. You don't think nothing about it. No conscience whatsoever. Let's go to the book of Prayer of Azaria right quick. The Prayer of Azaria, chapter 1, verse, let me see, I'm going to start at verse 8. It says, wherefore, all that thou hast brought upon us, talking about the nation of Israel, and everything that thou hast done to us, thou hast done in true judgment. And thou didst deliver us into the hands of a lawless enemy, lawless enemies, Lawless enemies, meaning they don't respect the law, statutes, and commandments that the Most High has. They don't keep those commandments. In fact, they reject him. They cast him behind him. We have been delivered as a nation because of our rebelliousness. We have been delivered into the hands of our lawless enemy, most hateful forsakers of God, and to an unjust king, and the most wicked in all the world. So it shouldn't be a shock to you why we do the things that we do. And I'm not justifying it at all. But I'm trying to get our people to understand why we do the things that we do when the Lord told us not to. But we here in this land, in these land of captivities all around the world, because that's where we have been scattered among every nation. We in their lands living lawlessly, following their ways, forsaking the Most High, and following after an unjust king, the most wicked in all the world. And our people out thieving, committing heists, burglaries, robbing each other, killing each other, thinking, oh, well, I'm doing something for the hood or whatever. I'm robbing from the rich and I'm giving back to the poor like I'm Robin Hood. Or I'm just trying to live that dope boy life. I'm trying to be like Scarface. Trying to live that mafia lifestyle. Foolishness. Not understanding truly what's going on. Let's go to the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 10. Book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 10. Now, these are good classes that you need to be teaching to your children if you got children. You know what I'm saying? Keep that in mind. Because we're supposed to be teaching our children on a day-to-day basis. So if you ain't teaching them, pop the video in, pull it up on the YouTube. But you need to be watching this as an adult, learning it, so that you can break it down to your kids and show them the ins and outs as to why they shouldn't. They shouldn't just be fearing you to get that belt crossed there. They should be fearing the Most High. They should be fearing getting put to death for these things, But this is the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 10. For they know not to do right, saith the Lord, who store up violence and robbery in their palaces. Talking about these other nations. While we searching behind them, trying to search and seek their prosperity, the Lord is telling us that they don't know how to do right. For they know not to do right, saith the Lord, who store up violence and robbery in their palaces. Just look at this U.S. government. They don't know how to do right. All they do is create chaos and mischief all around the world. Think about it. Why are they overseas right now with Great Britain bombing up the other nations? Violence and robbery. What is Israel doing to Gaza? Violence and robbery. That's all they know. What is China doing to Taiwan? Violence and robbery. North and South Korea, violence and robbery. You see that? What's going on in Africa? Violence and robbery. They don't know how to do right. The Lord is letting us know right in his scripture, right in his word. This is why we got to read and study to understand the ways of this world, instead of just watching what we see on TV and taking it for face value and not truly understanding anything. But for now, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 26. While we following behind these other nations, they don't know how to do right. But we thinking their example is how to live life. How foolish and simple we are. Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 26. And it reads, for among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as they set of snares. They set a trap, they catch men. As a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore, they are become great and waxing rich. Excuse me. So among the Lord's people are found evil, wicked men who constantly laying traps and snares for our people. You know what I'm saying? See somebody doing well, they setting up a snare to try to rob this brother or sister. You got wicked pastors setting up plans and plots to draw money out of our people, to lie to them to get their money. Wicked men are found among the Lord's people, the nation of Israel. Why? Because we are influenced by these other nations. We follow behind them. We trust in oppression. We trust in their education, Their smooth words. We trust in our enemies rather than trusting in the Lord. Therefore, we have wicked men among us who constantly setting snares and traps for us, and we thinking it's some type of benefit. And these are the things that we learn, grow up trying to seek, and then regurgitate it and give it to our kids to try to follow behind, rather than giving them truth. We so in love with lies that that's all we know. Wickedness, wise to do evil. You know what I'm saying? Let me go to Jeremiah 7 and 8 right quick. Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 8. It said, behold, ye trust in lying words that cannot profit. We trusting in the same man that raped and robbed us as if he gonna tell us the right way to live. That was his blessing. That was his purpose why he was created. These other nations. To punish us when we got out of line. When we in line, they are here to serve us. And we are to rule over them. But when we as a nation, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American, the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, when we disobey and question and challenge what the Most High say and trust in lying words, hey, then he put the other nations above us to punish us, to enslave us. And now, because of these things, behold, ye trust in lying words that cannot profit. How is telling you that God's laws are done away with going to profit you? Think about that. How is that going to profit you? That would make you think that his word is null and void. How would that profit you? How is looking at Caesar Borgia or white Jesus going to profit you as a so-called black man or Hispanic man or Native American man? How is that going to profit you? It's not. How is trying to win in their game when the game is fixed going to help profit you? It's not. But we somehow just keep following this system, thinking the harder I work, the longer I work, I'm going to get ahead. I'm going to set my family up for success. No. You need to be working harder and serving the Lord. Stop chasing damn money that ain't going to never profit you nothing. You're going to lose your mind. You're going to lose your sanity. You're going to lose your health trying to win at a game that's fixed that you cannot win at. Simple. We got to trust in the Lord. You see that? But I want to show you an example of something right quick. This is let's see, dealing with the Quran about stealing. Now, Quran is the book that the Ishmaelites or the Arabs, they read from. Even some of our brothers, you know, they read from this as an alternative to actually reading the Bible. All right. But even within the Quran, it does not play about stealing. And when you go over to those other lands, you go to Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, and whatnot, hey, they don't tolerate stealing. All right. Let me see. Is this where I want to start? It said the Quran is the primary source of Islamic law and promotes secure living for all human beings by fighting corruption, which diverts society toward negative direction. Thieves who victimize and terrify people while secretly stealing from them pose a serious threat to society, its security and safety. To overcome the cause, the Quran says that thieves should be punished in proportion to their actions, with the goal of reform and restraint, as well as preserving society's security and stability. The Quran orders to cut the hand of a thief when certain conditions are met. It is not just a deterrent given by the Quran, but also wisdom, mercy, and justice as a gift to humanity from what they say Allah. So when you read about the Islamic folk, when they steal, hey, they believe in punishment for real. They believe in cutting your hand off. You know what I'm saying? Whatever hand you steal with, they chopping that off. I know a lot of us have probably heard these things, but we got to bring it back to the forefront. This is another nation that does not tolerate these things. But here we are in this land of confusion, following along in their ways and their customs. All right. It says the Quran decrees to cut the hand of a male or female who perpetrates stealing, theft. You see that? Let me see. According to the Al-Qur'an, the definition of the word siriqah, thievery, includes anything belonging to a person and taken without his permission. Furthermore, this means that the punishment is from Allah. The price of stealing others' property is cutting off the tool, meaning the hand, that was used to steal. The last part of the ayah emphasizes that the establishment of this harsh punishment is based not only on Allah's might and power, but also on his wisdom to eliminate corruption and chaos in human society. So they don't play about thieving and stealing. But when you leave outside of their land, hey, especially over here in this Western world, they tolerate it. You know what I'm saying? It's a corrupt government that runs and steals and thieves all around the world. I'll give you another example right quick. Where is that? This is a picture that I pulled from that article showing how they were getting ready to chop this man's hand off for stealing. All right. This guy that you see in this image right here, let me pull it up. This guy right here in Egyptian Islam, Islamic man, was addicted to stealing, and he cuts off both his hands by allowing a train to run over him because he could not stop stealing. He couldn't stop stealing. So he had both his hands cut off. That's what you call a klepto today. A kleptomaniac is a mental health disorder that involves repeatedly being unable to resist the urges to steal items that you generally don't really need. That's just like Esau today. So-called white man, they have been going all around the world stealing, and they don't really need it. Kleptomaniacs, constantly stealing everything they can. Scripture speak on that as well. I'm talking about it, paraphrasing. But if a grape gatherer went to gather grapes, when he just take the grapes, but Esau, he gonna come and steal all the grapes, not just what he need or what he can carry, but he gonna come back and keep coming back till he get all the grapes. And that's who we model ourselves after in these last days. Foolishness. That's why we got to do these classes to wake our people up. This man had both his hands cut off because he couldn't stop stealing. That's a custom that the Ishmaelites do. Cut your hand off for stealing. They need to bring that back on the western side of the world. Cut their hand off. I guarantee you won't be seeing nobody steal nothing. Trying to steal a man's wife, trying to steal any damn thing, steal his wallet, pickpocketing. You won't see that. But going back, let's go to Matthew chapter 18. I got a few more scriptures. I just want to bring this out right quick. Trying to bring out more videos regarding the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 18, verse 7 and 8. And it reads, "Woe to the world because of offenses, for it must needs be that offenses come, but woe to that man by whom the offense cometh. Wherefore, if thy hand or thy foot offend thee, cut them off." Now, Ishmael knew about this. That's why they did that. But they went overboard with it. Because right here, this is something like a similitude, parable. You know what I'm saying? That Yahweh Shah was speaking of. He wasn't saying literally cut your foot off or cut your hand off. You know what I'm saying? This was metaphorically speaking. If thy hand or thy foot offend thee, cut them off and cast them from thee. It is better for thee to enter into life halt or maimed rather than having 2 hands or 2 feet to be cast into everlasting fire. That's going into, if you got an issue with something, let's say you got certain friends, family members, that's going to cause you to do certain things, you got to cut that off. You know, you got to cut that off. You got to cut that habit out. Whatever it is that's plaguing you, that's going to cause you to be cast into that everlasting fire, you got to cut that off. Just like it says in verse 9, if thine eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. It is better for thee to enter into life with one eye rather than having two eyes to be cast into the fire hell. So you got to cut those things off. You got to pluck out that wickedness. You know what I'm saying? Rather than you send the whole body to be burned in hell, to go down in flames. You know what I'm saying? You got to cut these things out of your life. That's part of being reborn into this truth. Coming back into who you are, a true Israelite, a repentant Israelite. You got to cut the wickedness out of your life. Just like you cutting out the abominable food that you eat. You cutting out breaking the Sabbath. You cutting out dressing immodestly. You cutting out smoking and getting high. Getting drunk. Sleeping around with different men and women. Breaking the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? What else? Celebrating these pagan holidays. Those are those feet, those are those eyes that you are plucking out, cutting off from your life because you know better now. Now that you have come back, now that the Lord has woke you up to this truth, giving you understanding so that you can perceive his word and be able to discern now. Now you got to pluck those things off. You got to cut those things off that offend thee. Seeing men dressed up like women, you got to cut that off, man. You can't agree with that. You got to be against that because that's abominable. Men laying down with men, women marrying women, that's abominable. You got to cut that off. Listening to music that tells you to degrade your women or kill your brother or sleep with his wife, you got to cut those things off. Stealing, can't help yourself. You just got to take. Thieving, you got to cut those things off. Ishmael, on the other hand, hey, they physically said, the hell with that. We're going to chop your hand off. Whatever hand you steal with, we're going to chop it off. Now, they do have some type of conscience about themselves, something that they try to uphold themselves to. But we have been delivered into what? A lawless enemy. So-called white man. He don't abide by his own rules that he put in place. He make his rules to confine us and give loopholes for his people. That's what he do. Or he create a law just to say it don't exist for him and his people, just to entrap or encamp us, you know. But Ishmael, on the other hand, they got some type of conscience where they will chop your hand off for stealing. Think about that. They don't play with it. But let's go to Genesis chapter 18 right quick. Let me see where I want to go. Genesis chapter 18. Genesis chapter 18, verse, let me see. 18. I'm going to prove to you that Ishmael knew the law. This is Genesis 18:18. Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken of him. So we know that Ishmael was Abraham's first son. So if Ishmael was in Abraham's household, guess what he knew? He knew the law, statutes, and commandments. That's why he attempts to keep them in the fashion that he do today. By chopping their hand off when you try to steal a thief from somebody, hey, that's them in their way trying to uphold the laws of the Most High. See that? Why? Because they were raised by Abraham, a righteous brother, a perfect brother, just like Noah. See that? But for now, let's go to Exodus chapter 22. Let's go to the book of Exodus chapter 22 right quick. And once again, parents, this is something that you're supposed to be teaching your children. All right. This is the book of Exodus chapter 22, verse 1. If a man steal an ox or sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. So he got to pay more than what he sold or what he stole in return. It says, if a man be found breaking up or be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him. So if a man be found breaking up, breaking into somebody's house, and be smitten that he die, shall no blood be shed for him. Meaning, if this man had broke into your house and he get put to death for doing it while in the act, ain't gonna be no blood shed for that man. Why? Because he was a thief found breaking in your house. Verse 3, if the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him, for he should make full restitution. So if this man make it out of there and the sun come up, it shall be restitution for him. If he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. He's gonna be sold into captivity. See that? If the theft be certainly found in his hand alive, whether it be an ox or an ass or sheep, he shall restore double. So he's gonna have to, if he stole an ox, he's gonna have to give 2 ox. He stole an ass, he gotta give 2 ass. A sheep, 2 sheep. He gotta restore double. If a man shall cause a field or a vineyard to be eaten, and shall put in his beast, and shall feed in another man's field of the best of his own field, and the best of his own vineyard shall he make restitution. So if you put your beast in another man's field and let him eat up his food, hey, you gotta give restore that restitution. You gotta give that back to that man. If a fire break out and catching thorns, so that the stacks of corn or the standing corn or the field be consumed therewith, he that kindleth the fire shall surely make restitution, the big payback. You got to pay that back. If a man shall deliver unto his neighbor money or stuff to keep, and it be stolen out of a man's house, if the thief be found, let him pay double. You see that? By us reading these things, we understand that Ishmael is off chopping off your hand, chopping off your feet. That's where he go off in his laws. He want to do his own thing. But these are the laws, statutes, and commandments that were given to the Israelites. So you have some sins that eventually all sin is the wages of sin is death. But there's some sins that don't deliver to death. And that's what we're going over now. Let me see. Verse 8. If the thief be not found, then the master of the house shall be brought unto the judges to see whether he had put his hand into his neighbor's goods. So this was talking about if somebody made a loan or let this man borrow something, or just say, for an example, I let John Doe down the street borrow my lawnmower, and somebody broke in his house and stole it. But the thief ain't to be found. Now they got a question. Bring the owner of the house, the person who I let borrow that lawnmower. He got to go before the judges and be questioned to see if he had anything to do with it. You know what I'm saying? If he put his hand unto his neighbor's good. All right. For all manner of trespass, meaning sin, whether it be of ox, for an ass, for sheep, for raiment, meaning clothing, or for any manner of lost thing which another challenge to be his, the cause of both parties shall come before the judges, and whom the judges shall condemn, he shall pay double unto his neighbor. He ain't say nothing about chopping a man's hand off. You see that? So, let me see. Is there any more on that I want to bring up? Nah, that's all I want to get on that. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 6, verse 30. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 30, right quick. And it reads, men, do not despise a thief if he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house. You see that? So we're not supposed to despise a thief when he's stealing to feed himself. You know what I'm saying? But in that mix, once caught, he got to restore that. he got to restore sevenfold. You see that? That's something that we got to keep in mind as well. When doing so, let's go to Proverbs 22:1. Got a few more precepts written down, and then we'll get out of here. Proverbs 22 and verse 1. And this is something you got to think about on a constant basis. Even if you do or you don't steal a thief, think about this. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold. So in this truth, even being in the world, you want to have a good name. You want to have a good name. Striving each and every day to have a good name, a good reputation, because your name means more than the riches that you have. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a good reputation, so you got to be thinking about that on a day-to-day basis. Your reputation, your name will carry you on in life. How you are treated at your job, or how your business is ran if you got a business, how your household is ran, how people view you, how they think of you. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. Nobody gives a damn about how much money you got, but it goes into your reputation. Now, in this wicked world that we live in, wickedness is rejoiced upon. The people that don't follow commandments, as we read earlier, they forsake the commandments. They do what? Rejoice in the wicked. They uphold the wicked. You know what I'm saying? But a good name is it's better to have a good name than to have all the money in the world. You know. But for now, let's go to Leviticus 5:1. Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1. And it reads, and if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing, and is a witness whether he have seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. So that goes into us bearing the iniquity of our brothers and sisters. If we know they getting ready to go off into sin and we don't say nothing about it, we just as guilty. You know what I'm saying? But especially, you know, somebody out there trying to set somebody up to rob a bank. You know what I'm saying? Hey, your best bet is to turn the mindset of that brother away from that. You know what I'm saying? But if you hearing it and you don't do nothing about it, hey, you're going to bear that same iniquity one way or another. It might not be you getting locked up or shot at that particular moment behind that. It might come in another form at another date in due season. But if a soul sin and thou hear about it, and is a witness whether he have seen or known of it, and do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. So we got to keep that in mind as well. And in this wicked world that's ran by evil men, we can't envy the things that they do. That's a commandment as well. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 11. Is this one? Forsake not an old friend, for the new is not comparable to him. A new friend is as new wine when it is old. That's not what I want. Verse 11, excuse me. Envy not the glory of a sinner, for thou knowest not what shall be his end. So the things that we see with these other nations, we should not be trying to glorify it. We should not be chasing behind it. Understand that? So we see them robbing and stealing. We shouldn't want to do that. We see them living with the nice size $1 million yachts, living in condos and flying around, but they doing wickedness. We shouldn't envy that. Wondering how they got to that level. We know they off in sin. We know they off in wickedness. We should not envy the glory of a sinner, but we don't know what they end shall be. But as a nation, we know they're going to be serving us, and then they're going to get knocked off. Talking about Esau, Edom, Idumea, Mount Seir, the most wicked in all the world. They're going to be serving us, and then they're going to get knocked off. But that's another story for another day. Let's go to the book of Ephesians. The book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 28. Book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 28. And it reads, let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hand the thing which is good, that he may have to give to him that needeth. So if you was an individual in the past life that used to steal all the time, you was a kleptomaniac, klepto, all you wanted to do was steal, you couldn't help it. Hey, now it's time to reform, renew your mind, and start working with your hands to do the things that's good, pushing this truth, learning this truth, that he may give to him that need it. Work, put in that work to give to your brother, to your sister, to your nation of people. Work to build them up, to edify them, rather than robbing them and stealing them for the things that they need in this life. You know what I'm saying? Do the things that's needed. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 3, verse 1. That's where we're going to end it. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 1. And it reads, my son, forget not my law. This is the whole reason why we do these classes, to teach our brothers and sisters, because we forgot his laws. But the Lord said, my son, forget not my law, but let thine heart, meaning your mind, keep my commandments. For a length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Meaning keeping the commandments going to give you a length of days and a longer life, and a life filled with peace when you keep the commandments. You see that? So the whole point of this class is to teach our brothers and sisters about what? Keeping God's commandments. When we don't do the things that are required from us, we end up in chaos, foolishness. But we need to be striving day in and day out to uplift ourselves, our families, our households, our community, most importantly, our nation, so that we can get the hell out of here. But nonetheless, I'm your brother Ananias for A.O.I, the Awakening of Israel. And I appreciate everybody tuning in, those who will later on. Make sure that you hit that like button on your way out and share this content as well. But nonetheless, we want to give all honor and glory and praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai for the abundance of all things. Appreciate you tuning in. On that note, I say shalom, shalom, peace and greetings, and I'm out.